G'day legends, I hope you're all awesome. We're in for a treat today because we're checking out the Future Factory from Free the Tone. If you've seen my Free the Tone flight time video and you were disappointed that it was a mono delay, you're gonna be pretty excited about this, but it's not just a stereo version of the flight time. There are a host of other features on here. However, you've got the what you see is what you get layout on there, which can look a little bit daunting, but when you realize that there are dedicated buttons for just about every function on the front panel, easily visible, with no menu diving, kind of makes a lot more sense in my opinion. So we'll just kind of dive straight into this video. We'll start off with my clean sound and then we'll kick in the first factory preset, and then I'm gonna dive deep and do some tweaking. Let's try it. Pretty stunning factory preset to get started. If we want to select a different preset, I can either press and hold the tap tempo foot switch. That will let me scroll through the first 4 presets, or I can hit the dedicated preset button, scroll through, and then when I found the preset that I want, I can press that parameter encoder. So this is the second factory preset. So you can hear between those 2 presets, I think 2 of the coolest functions in here, which are both modulation functions in here. There is a dedicated section for the pan controls, and on this preset, you can see that the speed is set at 90%, and then the depth is also at about 90%. What I could do, I could crank the depth right up, I could bring the speed down, and this will kind of give you a better idea of what's going on with the panning in there. Which is really, really cool. That's a great panning delay in there. You could bring that right down speed-wise again. And again, I just love you press the button, you twist the encoder. It makes a whole lot of sense to my brain. Anyway, if you want to change the display on here, we can either have a preset, we can have the BPM displayed, or we can have the delay in milliseconds. I kind of live in BPM land, so let's do this. I want to tweak the delay time for both delays on here. The first thing I want to do is I'm going to bring this up to about 130, so that's 130 BPM, and I'm going to leave the feedback, let's turn it down to about 40, and I'll leave the tone at off. The next thing I'm going to do is tweak the subdivisions over here. So we've got a quarter note for both delays on there. I've got this little A or B switch over here, so you can see delay A and B are both set to a quarter note. Alternatively, A is a quarter note and B is a quarter note as well. I will leave those. Let's hear this slower pan. And if you're not listening on headphones, chuck some headphones on, or if you're ideally listening on studio monitors, crank them up, because there's this beautiful stereo image happening here. I'm loving it at the moment. The next thing that we can tweak on here would be the EQ. So you can see in here, the mid-range is kind of cranked up on this. I might just drag the treble down a little bit so we kind of get an even darker sounding delay. If I press and hold that, I can actually set the frequencies that these are operating on. So I'm going to bring out 2K for the treble frequency. That is so nice. I'm going to tweak the modulation a little bit. You can see there's actually no modulation going on. So I'll bring the depth up to about 30%. I'm going to go for a slow rate on here, and then we can play around with this RF phase control. It just sounds so good. You can also invert the phase on one of the delays by pressing and holding this control here. So we'll turn the phase reverse on. I love the way this sounds. I love the control you've got over things like the modulation and the panner and the EQ section in there. What's really cool, because this is a stereo delay, we can actually tweak the delay time for the left and right channel independently. So I'm still in BPM mode because I want this all kind of synced up to a common tempo. Of course, if you just prefer milliseconds, you can just hit this little button down here. So let's do this. Let's select delay A. I'm then going to tweak its delay time. I'm not going to tweak its delay time. I'm going to tweak the subdivision for delay A. Let's do a dotted eighth there. Delay B is still a quarter note, but I do want to tweak the feedback for delay A. So let's select delay A. I'm going to give this one more feedback. The kind of thinking being that if you've got a slower delay, so the quarter note delay, that's going to keep repeating at a slower rate. So it's going to keep going on. So basically, you need more feedback for your shorter delays so that your two delays kind of fade out in sync with one another. You don't have to do that, but this is what we get now. I'm just going to leave the tempo at 130. I haven't mentioned you actually have dedicated controls for the mix and the feedback over here. So let's select both delays. I can bring the mix and the feedback up and down really easily on both of them. Although I am going to lose that sync with this kind of dual delay thing here. I mean, this is the delay sound that I use like 90% of the time live, but yeah, there's just such a beautiful example of that. It's good. It's ridiculously good. There's a soft clipping circuit in here as well if you want to make these kind of crusty and a little bit more lo-fi. Now that is only being applied to one of the delay taps on there. The reason being is that we've been doing everything in stereo mode. There is a series mode in here if you're running in mono, which kind of opens up a lot of possibilities because we can cascade the two delays together. So we have this soft clipping section so we can get some kind of crust on the delay tone. I might go in and set up one of these delays for a chorus and then use the other one for a longer delay. I just need to kind of reroute a few things. 1 second. Okay, we are rolling in millisecond mode right now, and I want to select delay A. I'm going to set this one up to be a chorus style effect. So what we're going to do is we'll go for maybe, I don't know, 16 to 20 milliseconds on this one with no feedback. So we'll turn that down till we get to our kind of magic number. Let's then go to feedback and turn that one all the way down. I will leave the tone control off. The EQ is also flat for all of this, and I've got rid of the depth and speed for the panning control in there. So they're turned all the way down. Furthermore, what do we have here? I'm actually gonna stand by delay B. This is really, really handy when you're dialing in these delays in series. So let's do this. This is just gonna be our chorus. I'll bring the depth up and I'll play around with the rate control. Let's have a listen. That will do for now. That's our chorus. Let's now select delay B, and I'm going to go for a longer delay time on this one. We'll go for about 600 milliseconds. So let's crank that one up, and then I can play around with the relative mix of these two things. So I'm going to unmute delay B, but I'm going to mute delay A now. So this is just the long delay part. That's pretty nice. I might actually just add a little bit of modulation to that delay there, just to give it a bit of movement. That's rad. Let's hear both of them together now. We have chorus and delay, a magic combo. I'm then going to bring in the soft clipping circuit. I'm going to tweak the EQ on my delay a little bit. Let's bring out a bunch of high end, just my kind of standard tweaks. If you don't like this, if you like doing the opposite, by all means, you can do that. You can crank the high end up. Let's go back to delay A and actually kind of crank up a little bit of the modulation on there. I'm going to bring the rate up. Let's go for like a Leslie style thing on it, shall we? It's good. I really, really like that combo. You can then use the panning section, I guess, as a tremolo when you're running in series. So I'll crank the depth and I'll bring a bit of speed in there. Hopefully that gives you a good overview of what all the controls on here do, and the sky's kind of the limit when it comes to like delay sound design on here. There's so much you can do, and the factory presets really demonstrate that. I'm going to say this and the Strymon Dig are probably my two favorite digital delay pedals. They approach glorious sounding digital delays in very different ways. The secondary functions on the Strymon are kind of buried. You have to remember the sort of protocol and you have to have the manual in front of you. This one is like, it's all secondary functions. They're all right in your face. So I can see how they would appeal to slightly different people looking for different ways to go about it. I find I can work very fast on both of them. A lot of the time, you know, the best piece of gear you have is the one that you can work the fastest on and get to your goal the quickest. This is just laid out in such a cool way, in my opinion. And it looks great. I love the aesthetic. If you're looking for a kind of $22.90 in a box, this is probably the thing that will get you closest, you know, with the ability to invert the phase and the RF phase modulation on there and the panning section, the ability to cascade the delays in series if you want to run this in mono. Just, you know, nice, thoughtful things like, oh, I'm tweaking the chorus sound for my dual delay. I'll just put the delay on standby, and then when I'm tweaking the delay, I can put the delay line that I'm using for chorus on standby. Stuff like that. It's just nice. You know, it's nice that there's a pedal out there doing this kind of thing for people who want that. So what I'm going to do, I've got, what preset do I have? Preset 18. I'm just kind of scrolling through there, through the factory presets. And this is another one that really struck me. So I'll play you all out with this one. If you have any other comments or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. As always, if you want to support the channel directly, there are links in the video description. And a big shout out to Andrew at Independent Music for sending one of these out to me so that I can check it out for you all. Hope you all have a great day. I'll see you next time.